Welcome back to the Cinemassacre Podcast. I'm James.
It's your old pal, Trusty Justy.
I am Kieran.
And today we're going to talk about our favorite AVGN episodes. But first, a word from our sponsor. Are you ready for Ridge wallets? Yeah, get rid of those old, bulky, worn-out wallets and upgrade to some real metal and synthetic fiber. Pack up to 12 cards in a variety of 30 styles and colors, like the Forged Ash wallet, made of carbon fiber and solid resin. The camouflage look of this military cheek wallet will have you saying Whiskey Tango Foxtrot to your antiquated and obsolete old wallet. We really love it, but apparently so do 40,000 others. It even has a lifetime warranty and a 45-day test drive. They have other products too, like this bolt action pen. Yeah, everyone needs a black aluminum bolt action pen with a manganese spring steel clip. Everyone, honestly, it's cool having a daily writing pen than making a pile of plastic pen trash. Head on over to ridge.com/Cinemassacre and use the code Cinemassacre for 10% off your order. So anyway, now that there's nearly 200 episodes of AVGN out there, we've been sort of celebrating and reminiscing on past episodes. So I don't know, I'm curious to hear what are your guys' favorites, and I'll tell you mine, I guess, even though I think I've talked about it a lot, but still, hey, there's so many. See, it's hard. It's really hard to pick, but I could go on forever about them. So, I don't know. Let me see what you guys have to say first.
First, I want to say I have my phone out just because I have the full episode list here. I'm not just looking at my phone. But definitely, like, off the bat, my first favorite AVGN, because I saw it when it came out, was TMNT, the first Ninja Turtles, episode 5. Mm-hmm. And that's, and then, people ask, how did you ever meet James or whatever? When that came out, I messaged you about, putting Deader the Better into the film festival I was running at my school in across the river from Philly. And all that kind of stuff. But just watching that Turtles episode, because I had so many frustrating memories of that game growing up, I was just like, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. This is pretty fucking funny. Cool. So it's awesome eventually getting to work on the nerd. I know Kieran could say the same stuff, but definitely my first favorite episode was, and probably definitely in my top 10 was TMNT.
Yeah.
Cool. That was a big one, because, early on, when it was so fresh and new, like that was each one was getting a little more momentum, but I remember that one was like a big like breakthrough one because probably because it was Ninja Turtles. A lot of people remembered that, but to this day, a lot of people tell me like, that was the first one I saw. I remember when it came out, it was a little more like a controversial opinion, because I'm talking shit on this game that was like rated number 1 in Nintendo Power for like month after month after month. It was like the top, when they had that like top 30,
the sales charts and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, or like the polls, or I forget if it was like a vote or what, but anyway, I was like, nah, I'm going to talk shit on this game. And just, even though I exaggerate a lot of that, it the points were valid. It was like, those really tough jumps and all that kind of stuff. Those pissed me off as a kid.
I mean, the first time I ever played that game was I got run over by that steamroller in the beginning. The first thing you do, like, and that was, I think that's like how a lot of people started with it.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating,
It was, yeah. But as a kid, I don't think I complained about it. I think as a kid, I just accepted the game. Yeah. But then as an adult, like, you look back and you're like, all right, some of that was crap. And,
I never had a concept of like a shitty game until like when I started watching all these videos and stuff, because I just, I used to play whatever game we got.
If the game was bad, you just didn't really play it the next time, or you didn't rent it again. You didn't get like mad and
especially if it was one of the games you owned, you had to play it because you might not get another game for months. You know what I mean? Like, or like I only got games at Christmas time, really. Rarely did I get another video game that wasn't a present for my birthday or for Christmas. So it was, and I only, as a kid, you only had one console most of the time. You only had like maybe 10 games throughout that entire console's lifespan. You rented a lot. Like I rented games from Blockbuster, but if that game sucked, you were stuck with it for a long time and you just had to get good at it.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite?
I have too many, like, to be honest. Honestly, like, I got into the videos kind of late, like not like super late, but the first one I ever watched was the first Ghostbusters one.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first one I saw, and it was like popping up on YouTube, and this was like early YouTube, because YouTube wasn't, it started off as just a place that you could upload anything. It wasn't meant for.
What was the first video? My trip to the zoo.
Yeah, it was just people's vacation videos. There wasn't like narrative content or anything or shows. It just was I put my homework on YouTube, things like that, just to show my mom or whatever. But it wasn't the newest episode. The newest episode at the time was Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, that was the newest one. Okay.
Yeah. So then what I did was I watched the Ghostbusters one. Mm-hmm. I watched all those. Then I watched the Texas Chainsaw one, and then I went back. And me and my roommate Jamie, when we were in college. That was back on your website where the menu to watch each one was like an NES cartridge, and you would click on it. Yeah.
Remember the Power Glove, and when you
and it would flip you off. Yeah, it was
if
you put the mouse over it, and it would change. Like I went through everything of those. The Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout was straight up the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. Yeah. At that point, the second, like everything about it, I was like, me and my roommate were just like fucking cracking up. Yeah. And when you shit on his face at the end, Bugs Bunny is like, oh shit, and it's just the shit is all. I had never in my life. I showed that in a class. I had this thing called Theories of Communication. And it was about like television and radio and all these things. And we had to do a report at the end, a research paper. And I asked if he was like, if you have any other things that aren't on the list, you can suggest. And I said, well, what about YouTube?
You watch this?
Yeah. So I had this teacher. He was his name was Mr. Youngman. And he was really old. He was super old. Like he was like 80, so like high 80s.
Old man Youngman. And he the whole class was about like the history of communication in every form, and that's why we as people are the way we are, is because we can communicate better than any other species on Earth. Like an Epcot spaceship Earth.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So it's so everybody's doing their projects, and they're all fucking they're talking about Marconi and all these things, and I got into YouTube, and we had to show examples. So the two examples I showed was Chocolate Rain with Tay Zonde, and I showed you shitting on Bugs Bunny, and my teacher fucking died. Like he was laughing so insane. And
was it that scene? Or was it like,
I showed the ending scene just where you're flipping out and
no context,
you're beating the shit out of him, and he's crying and then the second you dump on his face, his face was red, and he was like, oh my god, and he was just like, never in my life did I ever think I'd see someone take a shit on Bugs Bunny. My god, like he was blown away by shitting on Bugs Bunny's face, and like and
that's amazing.
Yeah, he thought it was like, and this guy, he was like 80 something, and he thought everything was like, he wasn't like a typical, you think a person who's 80 years old would be like, that's vulgar, get that out of my class. He fucking loved it, every second of it.
What do you think of Chocolate Rain?
Oh, he thought he actually was like, my god, his voice is angelic, he said about Tay Zonde.
But he liked the Chocolate Rain on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Wow, it came full circle.
I actually thought when you first said that, I thought you had a theme. Like, so these are things that use chocolate.
I know. I didn't even think of it. It was just at the time, Chocolate Rain was probably the most popular thing. So I figured that was the first, like, I guess, instance of like a viral YouTube video that thing blew up when it happened. Yeah. And then this was like, hey, people are making shows on it and everything. Yeah. But other than that, like, Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout.
Well, just to say something quick, like that's really, like, that's an awesome story. I love hearing stuff like that. Like, lots of times I don't really get to hear, like, what people's experiences are like watching it. And so that's always the best thing, when somebody lets me know how much they laughed at something, because usually I make the video and then I have to go right into making the next video. It's not like I really like take enough time to really digest anything. Mm-hmm. But I always love anytime someone sends me a message and tells me about how they laughed really hard. I mean, somebody recently told me that the football rant I did in the Atari Sports episode just said, like, I laughed so hard my side hurt.
What do you call it? Ryan does that all the time.
Oh, does
he?
Like,
we're we at like a sports bar during a convention or whatever. We're like, oh, you guys like football? Yeah. We'll just go right into it, like, perfect.
Yeah, people were doing that to me at MagFest, because MagFest happens in January, and there's in the hotel there was sports on the TV, because I guess it's like in the it's football season and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
Super Bowl, right around Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, or at least it's coming up, I guess. So there's football in there, and then I walk by, and like like a bunch of fans started chanting football, 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 football. And I'm like, what? Yeah. But another thing about the Bugs Bunny one, like I don't think it'll ever be as funny as that first punch of Bugs Bunny because you're not expecting it. So like the first time I hit him, you don't know it's coming. Yeah. But then the rest of it, it's like, okay, that's a full-on beating, and that's what it is.
No, the beating at the end is so... The kick through the boxes and everything. We're like, oh! And just kick him, and he the slow motion through the boxes is just...
That was back when I couldn't even shoot on slow-mo. I actually just slowed the footage down, so it's all choppy and everything. But, it's...
Also, too, when you guys did the what was it? Crazy Castle, and you guys released the trailer for it, I got super hyped where it was like Bugs Bunny was coming back to get his revenge.
Oh, nice.
When he's like, I don't like getting shit on the fucking face. And he like yells like that killed me.
Oh yeah.
And the rabbit poop when it comes out.
The rabbit poop that's on balls.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh.
I think there's a controversial take on this one, but definitely one of my favorite ones is the chronologically confused about movie sequels and titles.
Oh yeah, I think people like that one.
I just meant in the sense of like, when you think of your favorite AVGN episodes, like just because I like more of the history and the confused talking about things, and with all like the other movie reviews you do or we do or whatever, I just thought that one was good because I know you did that one, then the other one, and then we did the Kingdom Hearts one, and I always liked that series and thought it should have been its own like thing. But because there was a path where like the nerd you like the nerd could review other things that aren't game movies, like when you're talking about your shitty drawer or whatever, you can frame it in that style. So I definitely like that one because it kind of broke the mold a little bit.
Oh, cool.
I also loved all the the compilation ones were always ones I liked too, like the CDI. All 3 CDI episodes. The Jaguar episodes were great. I always liked those ones, but I also too Batman.
Oh yeah,
Batman. That's probably that's probably if I were to say like which one, Batman 1 and 2 are the funniest things I've ever fucking watched. There's when you're like what's it called? There's this one part in it that me and my friend used to always mention. It's like, you're like, this game sucks, got to give it the Batman treatment, but you do this like swivel with your head when you're getting up. Yeah, it's this like sass you give it.
Oh, I did. I remember saying it, but I didn't remember that I did a sass.
Yeah, it was like a sassy head swirl. We'll put it in.
Sassy head swirl. But I do remember like I pick up the game and each time I would say it longer. Where it's, I'm Batman.
Also, too, just the Joker. Mike Matei coming in as a Joker, especially at the end when you're shoving the games up his ass and you do and it's like on Commodore 64 and you're smacking it in. That was just really classic shit. And I love the extended fight scene you guys did where you did each scene.
Oh, you remember that too?
Yeah, because I had all the DVD. I have all.
Oh, cool.
I have all the DVD. I think
you have all the Screw Attack ones. You have all the Screenwave ones.
I have every single Screw Attack DVD. I have this screen, and I bought them all. And then you guys gave me the Blu-rays when I started working here. But
and the BFG
I had
collection.
Everything pretty much. I was watching this. Between this and like Tim and Eric were the two things. Like me and my roommates just were binging all the time in the dorms. Like we would just sit and watch it all the time. And when a new episode came out, we were in like the animation room, just like always watching them. And it was like a hype event.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We were like, it was a big deal. Like that was
at my college. We'd have them on the projector screen, or like we take over the concert hall or whatever, and just put a giant AVGN. Yeah, we'd put other things up there like "You're the Man Now, Dog" and just this E-Bombs World, fucking early 2000s shit. But
that was the thing, was I was trying to like when I was in animation school, there wasn't the prospects of pitching a TV show was not like everybody in your college is gonna like your teachers are gonna tell you it doesn't happen, blah blah blah. So but I saw like YouTube, I was like, we could do this. Like me and my friends, like we were like, we could get into YouTube, like we can make our own shows if we just work on it. So we were just all stuff like I was into like the whole when Screw Attack was a thing, I was posting all my stuff on there. I used to do artwork on there. I was always posting. I used to post to Newgrounds. I've been front page twice on Newgrounds. So it was just like, this was a big thing to see, especially when I first saw the Rocky episode and you were running up the Rocky steps and I realized you were in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, holy shit. Because, and you guys too, when I met you guys actually through the whole thing too, because you guys were doing Underbelly.
Yeah, I'm
and I ran into Justin at at Wizard World, and I thought you guys were like in Texas because that's where Screw Attack was at the time or whatever. So when I saw you guys, I was like, "Are you Justin Silverman from Underbelly?" Like it was a big deal.
Yeah, but because I know. Because that's how I kind of got reconnected to James, because we're like, hey, can I borrow that laser scope? We're making a Nintendo Man kind of costume. You know, we just got to rip James off a little bit. So if we're going to do it, we should get the actual props. So that was cool, and connecting on that stuff. Because doing the Screw Attack stuff, that was a lot. It was definitely a lot funner back then, but, still a hoot. Shooting all this stuff and whatever, but it was definitely a lot different then. It was definitely more guerrilla.
Yeah, it was a very Wild West-ish
guerrilla,
back then,
guerrilla style filming. And
everything was... it's a lot less...
it's still pretty guerrilla style filming, I'd say.
Well, compared to
just
Hollywood,
better equipment, I guess. We're more well-armed.
Our equipment is better, but...
I mean, I was shooting on DV tape back then, too. You know?
I mean, it's funny how it still... is like no different, like the way the videos are made, like where like I'll write it and then like, I mean, you guys help like a ton on the editing and everything, but like a lot of it is like, I'll write, or sometimes I'll get to a part like, oh, I can't get past this part. Kieran, you want to record some more of this?
Sonic 06 or whatever it was like, that was a bad one.
Or like you'll do some research like on Green Dog, Justin, you found that whole thing about how the music like matched some other song, and like you did this whole,
I have the board game.
That was too wasn't it Joe from GameSack too was like on that too.
Yeah.
You guys were like talking about it.
Yeah, GameSack loves Green Dog. Green Dog.
Yeah.
My favorite episode I think is still the Rob the Robot one. It's episode 100. I think I like that one because it was a story, and the dialogue with the robot was really funny, and it was such an unusual video game peripheral. Like I can't really think of many other like things like that. It was kind of like, I think it was one of the first NES games, Gyromite. Like, I remember that robot as a kid. I never actually had the chance to play it, but I knew I had I think my cousin actually, I think he told me about, like, oh yeah, well, you got to play this game with the robot. I'm like, what do you mean, play the game with the robot? Like, what is that? But there's too many episodes to count, really, because there's a lot that are hard to decide, because the Mega Man one is really big.
That's a great one, yeah.
That one's kind of special because it's more like it's kind of like a flashback sort of thing where I go back into the old episodes. So that's a really like self-reflecting episode, not as its own thing as much. That's why I think Rob the Robot wins, because that one's more self-contained. But I also really like the Berenstain Bears one.
That one's good too, yeah.
I was looking at that again recently, because I was editing together some of these clip collection things, and I was adding to the gaming conspiracies one, because we did a top 5, but now I've made it into a top 10 now, because there's been more since. The whole thing about the Berenstein thing, and then like there's like 2 nerds, and all the complicated plot just keeps getting more and more complicated as it goes on.
You are big at that.
Yeah, I really like went nuts with that. With
poor James,
it's like so confusing to like explain.
That's one of the things I like, is when you start doing those weird, like the what was it? You do it in the Hong Kong 97 one, where you start going into the weird convoluted, like connecting the dots kind of thing.
But also Mario 3,
when it's like, what does the P stand for? Possession. It's like, it's like
such a stretch.
Everything with hell, and it's like, it looks like there's a heart around hell. This game loves hell, and it's like there's 5 things in the P meter. There's the HELL and all. It was fucking hilarious.
One time a fan came up to me at a convention, and he had a picture of Mario that I signed or something. And he said, "Oh, hey James, look, there's 6 bumps on his mustache," and he was right.
Yeah.
And then he counted 6 as something else and 6 another thing. And it was like he found a 666 on the my picture. So it's like the fact that it inspired people to like go look for that. And, and that episode had a backwards message in it, actually, somewhere. I think it wasn't anything interesting. It was just a line from The Exorcist. It was like your mother sucks cocks in hell or whatever.
Yeah. Not to bring up something kind of weird, but
something unrelated.
It was something. So I was streaming last night. And there's this tag team. I'm going to tell the world about this because it's interesting, but it's kind of like an inside joke with some friends of mine. But it's also I showed it to you too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It is very interesting. So because at first I'm like, okay, sure, a backwards message, because I've heard all the the Led Zeppelin backwards thing. And you listen and you're like, it's you got to really listen. But this one's I think has validity. Yeah.
So there's this tag team from WCW. I believe it's the American Males. But so they have the greatest theme song in history of the American Males theme.
American Males.
Yeah, it's if you haven't ever heard it, just look it up real quick. But
American Males, American Males, American Males.
The thing is, when you play their theme song backwards, it says "Slam your grandma."
Slam your grandma.
Slam your grandma.
Slam your grandma. Slam your grandma. Slam your grandma.
So me and my friend found this video.
It's loud and clear.
It straight up says "Slam your grandma." Like it's like slam your grandma.
So basically, if you say American Males, here I'm going to say it right now. American Males. Put that backwards.
Yeah,
to see what it sounds
do
like.
it? Like that's the thing. Like it's like
I don't know.
American Males.
Slam the grandma. Slam the grandma. Slam the grandma. Slam the grandma.
But yeah, so I just, not to go on a tangent, I just wanted to let everyone know that the American Males theme song from WCW goes backwards and turns into "Slam Your Grandma."
So you're saying there's a bunch of hunky American males that want to slam my grandma?
So the thing was, it was either like, do they want to slam your grandma? Like, is it like a sexual thing? Or is it like slam your grandma through like a table or something?
What's weird is that, because when you first tell me about it, you're like, it's this wrestling team. I'm like, well, so slam, like, isn't that like a wrestling move, like to slam
like
somebody?
A body slam.
So I just thought, I was like, okay, well then that's intentional if that's really the thing.
But slam your grandma.
Because they're like, is there another wrestler called Grandma or something? Or like, I don't know. Like,
here he comes, weighing 450 pounds, Grandma. Like it's like this dude I'm Grandma.
Because isn't there like a wrestler who like dresses like a baby or something? Or
I think there were. Yeah, there was this one. Yeah, there was like there was Beaver Cleavage, who was like, he came out with like a fucking one of those propeller hats and shit once in a while and stuff like that.
And there's the Shockmaster. There's a lot of dumb shit.
The shock and the gobbledygooker.
I like Slam Your Grandma. It sounds like a pay-per-view event.
Yeah, Slam Your Grandma. But
WWE, Slam Your Grandma.
If you Google American Males theme Slam Your Grandma, and it's someone. The thing was, there used to be a whole, like, there was a video that you could just find on YouTube of it, and that was the thing, was like, me and my roommate, we used to just listen. We used to use that theme in a lot of our projects because the American Males theme is fucking hilarious as it is, and it's like a ridiculous theme. It's one of the most ridiculous themes in wrestling history. But we found like a thing, and it says American Males contains hidden anti-elderly message, and that was the name of the video. And then you watch it, and it's just slam the grandma.
Who decided to put it backwards?
I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Who was the first person to think to do that?
Dude, that's what I don't understand. Is like, they were like, I wonder what it sounds like. But maybe they were just messing around. Probably like got stoned and did it or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa, it sounds like slam your, but it really straight up sounds like slam your grandma.
I guess speaking of that, to go back on topic.
There we
whatever,
go. Off it.
I did really like the wrestling episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that was one of the first ones we were heavily involved in.
That's the first one that I did things for other episodes.
Because you know a lot about wrestling, and I don't know a lot about that. And I remember before we did that one, I was like, we need somebody who knows a lot about wrestling just to help out. And I think we were talking at Too Many Games about that one time. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, Justin called me and said, like, do you want to do? And I was like, yes, please. I was not. I had no job. I was like, I was working at a, as some people might know, I was working at a video store for
moms and dads.
Movies for moms and dads. Yeah, that's what I was like selling basically in like North Philly. It was a fun time.
Yeah,
it was good. And then they gave me the call. I got the call. They
answered
the
call.
And I was like, I got you. And I came in and I lent my wrestling knowledge, and then the rest is history.
I'm glad you don't take it for granted. Like, you've always told me, like, you really love doing
oh my god
this, so yeah.
No, it was like, I mean, I was trying to, like, I was always doing stuff in like I was always doing video work. I was doing a lot of like freelance animation for people. I had a public access television show. That's actually how I got to meet you the first time, when I was doing public access and I was filming a show for Philly Cam Channel 66. And I came to Too Many Games because Too Many Games was like, wow, you have a television show? Sure. And I was like, yeah. No one watches it, and I haven't made one episode yet, but okay.
Speaking of Too Many Games, I actually want to do it like some sort of AVGN charity prop auction one day.
Yeah.
Because we still have the fucking suit.
We did a huge, for the movie, we did a huge one in 2016. And that was like all the major props for that were given up. And there was a lot of stuff from episodes too.
Yeah.
It was like all done in this one auction.
Yeah.
And it was like in person too. Like we did it at a place. It was at Sellersville.
Yeah, I know Silver's auction. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But anyway, after that, I was like, oh man, like I don't know if I have anything left, but I actually do. Like
we have some new stuff now.
Like,
I mean,
yeah, because there's a lot of new stuff.
We have T1000 Pepsi Man.
Oh yeah.
Without a head though. There's no
I have a
head.
lot of like duplicate games too, but they're not like games anybody would want. They're like CDI stuff and everything.
Oh my God.
I know. We have a piece of the Las Vegas set upstairs from the AVGN movie left.
How did that get back here?
It came back into our lives.
Dude, I've tried so hard to get rid of those things because
They're big.
Big props are hard to get rid of. I learned because
the fucking SNES box like I was telling you about.
Oh, the suit.
The
Yeah,
suit
that's what you
has
mean.
just been
Okay.
sitting on top of our warehouse since we shot it. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do with that?
It's the wrestling cartridge, the one that's Saturday Night Slam, or was it WCW?
A Super
the
Brawl or
giant.
whatever.
Yeah, we have that. We have the Robo Nerd helmet. Actually,
Yeah,
Nina Adams.
Oh, she made both of those props.
Yeah, she made them.
A Tiny Ninja.
Yeah,
Tiny
Spartan
Ninja.
Nina,
Oh,
yeah.
She made that thing, and I remember like getting the call because I had to go pick
She
it up.
made a lot of stuff. Yeah.
She called me up, was like freaking out, like it's not good, it's so bad. Oh my God, it's like,
really?
I had to go pick it up, and I was just like, you know,
It was great.
And that's the thing. Like I'm getting there, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I'm gonna go pick it up, and I saw it, and I was like, holy shit, like this thing is awesome. I was like, it's straight up like and the only problem was I couldn't fit it in my car. That was the only thing. So then I had to call up. I think Tony had to come and like, he had to bring his car over. So that was the only problem was. The way it was made out to be, it was like
It was
I thought it was going to be
awesome. Yeah,
awful,
it was
and
great.
it was like
I mean,
one of the coolest things I'd ever seen.
I think we talked about this at the panel the other day we did at Retro World Expo, but just about our favorite AVGNs episodes, not based on if we liked them or not, but the ones we created ourselves.
okay.
And we're talking about wrestling. We're talking about doing like when I did the Spawn Clown thing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like acting and things is cool, and doing makeup and effects. And I know AVGN is really about your opinions of the games and having a really good time at it, and making a good video, passionate video for the audience and stuff. But I definitely appreciate when we can do more skitty type things.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, I always loved ones like that too, though.
Yeah, like I think during COVID we kind of cut down on the in-person stuff, but I think we can get back to doing some more of that in the year coming up. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe another Bugs Bunny fight.
I've been wanting to do one like the
Here's the thing. I think it's got to be different. I have some ideas. I actually do have some ideas. I'm gonna run it by Mike.
Yeah.
No, hey, Mike, do you still have that Bugs? But actually, wait. I think there were 2 or 3 in total because we auctioned one off definitely at the 2016 auction. We could always get another one if we need it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just some future ideas. I remember one you were in, Kieran, that was really funny. That just cracked me up. Was when you played you played Sean Connery from Last Crusade.
Tomb Raider.
And Tomb Raider, and I was
Let It Go, nerd.
because there's no reason you need to show up there. That's what's so funny. Is like you come in out of nowhere.
Because we were watching Last Crusade, and we went and bought like the suit for it. Like me and Tony went and bought at one of like a mall nearby, and like we had to find a Sean Connery suit, and I was only Sean Connery because I had a beard at the time.
Yeah,
but I was like, I can't do a Sean Connery accent either.
I guess in AVGN canon, you're the nerd's father.
Yeah, for some reason,
I guess. Yeah, I mean, we don't. I don't think we specifically say that.
I was also the ogre, the sweaty, skin tight ogre.
Oh, and the immortal.
Why were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about that at Retro World Expo.
Yeah,
that's a big one for sure. Like that's one I feel like we've talked about a lot. Like we actually did a whole commentary on that one. I think it was me, but I told some of the stories you told me.
Behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. I relay the story about the spider that you found. Yeah.
I passed out on the toilet because I was there at one point. I was like sitting there for like I think 35 minutes straight because I didn't come in until like 10 minutes into the episode. But if we did 3 takes that didn't make it that far, that's me sitting there on the toilet for like 30 minutes, and I'm in this suit, and I just started like putting my head down, and I passed out for a second, and then I heard my cue, and I was like, oh, and I had to like jump up and everything.
And you're in an ogre costume the whole time. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's over my face. It was a skin tight with these like teeth, so I can't really even see that well. Like when we did the fight, like I couldn't see almost anything. I had to just come out and be like, And I had to know where I was like standing the whole time.
Like as far as like having to run the camera the whole time and not fuck up anywhere to get all the way to the end, and there's like 1,000 things that could go wrong. I mean, check out the commentary of The Immortal, but that was a very specific mission. It was like, let's do an episode in one shot. I've kind of had this list that we're going down where I was like, well, I've always wanted to do a multiple choice episode, like a choose your own adventure type thing where you select which is the next video that loads. I've always wanted to do a video where I scream fuck for 4 hours straight or something, where it's like looped. The video would already happen in the beginning, so it's all done. But then there'd be an additional 4 hours of just me screaming fuck at the end, and it would loop and loop and loop. Because you were showing me those Garfield videos, the lasagna cat.
Yeah.
And they do these these like ridiculous things. Some of them go on for like hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so funny. So I thought of an idea that's similar but very different. Is just a long screaming fuck, but then it wouldn't just be screaming. Like certain things would happen during it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. Like maybe one of these times.
I think it's bad for YouTube retention, but whatever.
Probably.
Whatever.
It probably is, but
there will be someone who sits and watches that entire thing.
It is weird to go down a checklist of, all right, what AVGN things do we want to do? Put a game in lava. Check.
Yeah.
Do this. Check. Like, we want to do the full pool full of beer. Did that in Echo the Dolphin.
Oh, yeah. The first underwater shot ever in AVGN.
So, it's weird to, like, being worried about, hey, let's do these fun things, but they are fun things. So, and I know we have, like the choose your own adventure thing I'm really into. Yeah. Like little short videos, and they all spiral off.
It's going to
like
be super hard.
Style. But
Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror thing, that was cool.
Or the Undertaker one.
Oh, it just
Undertaker
came out.
with
Undertaker?
they did one. It's like the Undertaker, the wrestler, and this team, the New Day. They're like a newer tag team. They go into his house and have to escape the Undertaker, and it's a choose your own like which way do you want to go kind of thing. Me and Tony talked about it on what's it called that show with the Hack the Movies.
Yeah, the show that's shot right over there.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what we can come up with next year, and I'm looking forward to what you pull off for episode 200, because that's going to be really interesting.
You got some editing work to do, and let me tell you, you got
let me tell you.
Yeah, like when I was doing the Commodore one, I'm like, Kieran, just so you know, I'm going to be dumping a lot of footage on you coming up.
No, I got that. I like that you give notes though while you're doing it, so I know like what I'm doing the whole time. Like I do a lot of the beginning is just me putting everything into folders and like listening to what you're saying and then going, okay, cool, I'm going to put that here. I know where this goes, and I just name them the things that they are. So then like when it comes down to it, I just plug it all in. The Halloween one was actually like fun.
Yeah. With the stop motion.
Yeah, because that was the thing too. I've never edited something horror or with like a jump scare before. So to actually the part where like Freddy comes out, I got myself with the jump scare when I was watching it through, and I was like, okay, cool, like it actually worked. I was like, that's
awesome,
good.
Yeah.
That's actually one too. To bring up another the Halloween episode with Michael Myers that you did.
Yeah.
Where you had that jump scare when you're in the basement part. That got me.
Oh, it did? Cool, nice.
Like that, that's the thing, like, because the year before was the Freddy and Jason ones, and they were the review, but there was still there were skits, but there wasn't the Halloween one was more like a movie with the review inside of it.
Yeah.
And I loved that episode. It was just, and I guess that's also where you kind of, then everyone expected that to be the norm almost afterwards. Like, you got to have these, like, these fucking masterpiece movies instead of just game reviews after a while,
Oh, I mean, I guess it goes either way. But because a lot of people preferred it to be straight up game review. So a lot of times I would do that and be like, oh, I just want to get back to the game. I'm like, okay, well, so then the next one I would like, because after that, I think it was Dragon's Lair.
Which was great. I love the Dragon's Lair. I like going at the end with the door closes and you just turn into a skeleton. It's just quick. Yeah.
That was, I remember Dragon's Lair was one I had to do really quickly. Like that was like a few days. I was actually getting married at that time.
Oh, really?
It was a honeymoon.
Congratulations.
Thank
on your marriage that happened. Like,
But I just remember it being like, okay, like this episode it needs to get done really quick, and Dragon's Lair made sense because of the game I couldn't get very far in.
Yeah, it was really
that
bad.
might be worth doing again, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if you did the choose your own adventure thing, you could pick a game like Space Ace or whatever, where it is like you have to do the right thing at the right time, kind of a thing. But it's being transposed on what you're doing in the nerd room. So.
Also, too, I mean, I brought it up 2 episodes ago, but the Street Fighter 2010 episode is one of my favorites too.
Oh, nice, cool.
Just because of all the Street Fighter stuff into it, which I didn't know about, like the whole like Street Fighter 89 and all those things like about Final Fight.
I remember it was a theme in that video of getting sidetracked because I would just get off tangent, like, you know, a lot of times, like kind of like on the podcast we do sometimes, like where it's like I'll be talking about one thing, but then be like, oh, but then there was this other Street Fighter game. And I'm like, wait, what was I talking about now?
The movie version of the game. Like, I love that one, though, because I like Street Fighter also. So that was like a really... But I like, too, when you walk out and you're like, I got to get my mail. And it's like everything's... And it's like, oh, it's 2010.
Yeah.
You know, like, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I you know, the Earthbound one, people say, is definitely one of the, like, really good ones recently.
Yeah. I think it's the to date, it's the longest one, unless we... 200 is going to be split into 3 parts, but the 200 would beat it as one self-contained episode, which I think it's going to be self-contained. Like, I think we're going to release the parts and then kind of like Polybius, how it was like released in parts and then as one thing.
Like, I kind of want you to do Final Fantasy VI like you did Earthbound one day, because I think, you know, because I know you like that game.
Final Fantasy 3.
Well, bring that up again. Just because I love that, it's like one of my favorite. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if it has
as much stuff like Earthbound.
Yeah, as much nerd material, because Earthbound was just a weird game and had so much to talk about, and how it was like this equal balance of like, what the fuck is this, but also like, wow, this game is like has like a lot of depth to it. You know? Yeah. No, Earthbound was a colossal undertaking.
Yeah, it was like 6 months or something.
I don't remember. I feel like it was probably like an intensive like couple months or something. Like 6 months if I worked leisurely on it. Yeah, but I have to go back and look at my logs to see. But like Earthbound was huge.
Or it might have been Majora because of how many like that was a rough
one.
Oh
yeah, Majora was like
Majora's
6 months, and like Commodore 64 was a long time. But that's if you count like back when I started recording them, and then I'd take a break to work on like the other ones, and then I go back to that again a little bit. So it's hard to count some of these because it's like if you work and then not stop, that's how long it is. But some of them are spaced out. Usually a lot of these I do in like one blast, where it's like there'll be like a couple weeks where like I'm not even answering my phone as much, where it's kind of like you kind of go into this headspace where like you're just trying to get the episode done, and you kind of have to turn everything else off in order to just focus on this one thing. So some of those big episodes turn into that for sure.
The one you did of the 4-part Castlevania, that was like really fucking great.
We talked about doing that for Contra.
Yeah.
We did,
But
the Castlevania one though, I just love that like that ending like montage of just all the like with the ending theme to Super Castlevania 4. Like it's just like such a good group of episodes, and just like all the like going through every single one of the games. That's one of my favorite ones too.
Wow,
that's definitely actually that might be like. I know I said Batman and all that, but that's just a really good. Those episodes were great.
That's awesome. Yeah, a fan actually brought that up recently. Like, told me how much they loved the whole Castlevania 4-part thing, and said, I'd really love to see you do something like that with another game. And then, like, separately, you brought up the idea, like, how about doing, like, bad Contra games, or, like... And then I thought about it, I was like, you know, maybe it'd be good just to do, like, the first 2 Contras or something. Do something where you could channel that same, like, I remember playing this as a kid, and I'm going to tell you all about what it felt like.
I mean... Yeah.
Because like a lot of these games, it's like, how many did I actually play when I was young? How many were like something that meant to me? Because a lot of these, it's like, okay, Hong Kong 97, I never heard of that game till, later. Yeah. Even though it made a great episode in a different kind of way, because the game was so bad and so ridiculous.
Yeah, that game is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because I thought the Contra one could be a 2-parter where you just play all the ones you remember, and then you play everything after, and you go, what the fuck happened to this franchise?
That's one
Contra
way to do
is
it.
Such an extensive, because there's the arcade ones, then there's the NES ones.
Are you going to go all the way with it?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not sure. I feel like, doing bad Contra games, sure, could be good, but I also feel like talking about what you love about those, but doing it in the nerd kind of way. Like it has to be kind of like Earthbound, kind of like the Castlevania 4 part. Actually, more of that. That's really the model. I think the 4-part Castlevania would be the model of how to do a Contra retrospective.
Yeah, because you have the first few Castlevanias, then you have also like you had the PlayStation and the Sega, then you had the 64, you had and even touching on the Game Boy ones and everything like that. I think that would probably be the best. Because you want to talk about like its arcade origins, and then also the NES ones, and then there's the Super Nintendo
and
Genesis.
Not worry about fucking Rogue Core and all that shit.
Yeah, screw that one. That game fucking sucks. But like, there are games like Contra 4 for the DS, which is like straight up really awesome. That's my second favorite. Like it's Contra Hardcore, then Contra 4 those are my top two.
I remember when Contra 4 came out, and it was I remember playing it at E3.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, look, they're going back to the old Contra games, and like it was such a big deal.
I got a DS for it. I was super psyched about that game.
Okay, you'll need to help me find something that I can record with it.
We actually have a captured DS. We have a 3DS that you can capture.
Captures,
It's cool. Cool. I've actually been. That was one thing I wanted to actually stream Contra for because of that. Because I've been talking to people on my stream about it. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at twitch.tv/Kieran. I've been talking on my stream about playing that for a long time, but I don't know how I got to figure out how it all works. But I would love to play Contra 4. I haven't played that in forever. Game is great.
I think we'll figure it out. But that's what I'm saying. Like we have a lot of good plans for next year.
Yeah. For Contra, that's definitely one. Like, if we do the deep dive where it's like all these Contra games, that's going to take a long time to make because, like the Castlevania ones. Like I remember, it was just like I'm going to play through all of them and try to beat all of them to the best I can. And then once you have all that footage, then you can finally start writing it. So. If we do the whole Contra thing, it's going to be nuts. Just saying, But I am looking forward to getting back to some episodes that are just one game.
Yeah, we have some NES games coming up soon too. After all the madness is done, but
So 200 coming up. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, because it's going to be big.
And thanks for being a fan of all this. Speaking of which, you want to take one fan Q&A question?
Oh, sure, yeah.
This is from Frank Bizocco. Have you gotten any better at landing the F-14 on the carrier in Top Gun? Or would you ever try that in a flight simulator like Microsoft Flight Simulator or DCS World, which is a combat simulator? I think some redemption is in order.
Oh, okay. I think would be really interesting. I like how he said F-14 on a carrier instead of just saying land the plane. Like I like that he gave the detail, so I have to commend that. It would be really interesting to get somebody who is a pilot and actually say like, how similar is this anything at all like
up,
landing
up,
a plane?
Down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that would be good. Get somebody who's a pilot.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to do like a video or something where like you give a pilot a fucking Konami laser, so he's like fire.
Didn't you landed it with the U-Force? Was it? Was it the U-Force or was it? Oh, the Power Glove. That's right.
Oh, yeah, I did the Power Glove, and then I think I did one with. Did I do one with the U-Force?
Because you did the U-Force, but I think the U-Force you crashed or you went past it.
Oh, it goes out the window.
No, the window one was. That was the revisited one.
Yeah.
I think U-Force, you just crashed it.
Because I remember the first one was crashing. The next one was the Power Glove.
Which was fucking hilarious when you get it and you're like
oh, that's cool. Yeah. A lot of people tell me that too. That's like a classic moment that they really love. That's cool. I always try to remember that. Be like, try to do moments that are similar, not the same, but like kind of like when I did it on Zelda 2, when I beat the game, when I'm not looking at it, I'm just talking with it. Because in truth, Zelda 2 at the end, if you just duck in the corner and keep hitting, you'll win. You'll beat Shadow Link. Yeah, no, that's a good idea about doing some kind of thing about the plane landing. I had a lot of family in the military who I wish was still around. I mean, that'd be perfect. I had an uncle who was in Vietnam, and he used to do some crazy shit. Like if he was alive today, like the stories he'd have to tell, just insane.
I know a lot of people who have like the full setups where it's like they're almost in like a 747 cockpit, like they built it, and they have all the things and the rudders and the things on top, like they have the full thing, so it's almost like you're landing the fucking plane. I don't know how that works with like an F-14 with like a flight stick and stuff, but
yeah, well, we filmed that a flight simulator for the AVGN movie when we were filming the plane scene. So that was like it was kind of like that. Like it was just a cockpit. yeah, I mean, that's where people go to learn how to fly.
I'll think more about that. I think that's a really cool idea. Not that that's what his question was, but I think it's time for some redemption.
Redemption for Top Gun.
Yeah, road to redemption. Yes.
Well, let's see. In the revisited one, what did I say? I remember I showed the ending of the space shuttle, and I was like, can't let those fuckers go to space. Like, why is the end of Space Shuttle?
Yeah,
like, that never happens in the movie.
Yeah, is that, what's it called? Maverick flies and just bombs a space shuttle?
It might be a Top Gun Maverick that comes out in 10 years from now.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching all these years. Looking forward to episode 200. So, yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Cinemassacre Podcast. See you next Tuesday. Check out more episodes at cinemassacre.com or wherever you fill up your ear holes with podcasts.